I'm gonna be so serious. As a Gen Z, this is probably gonna be one of the most unprofessional videos you'll ever see.
My rival, my idol, you got me suicidal.
Of a mildly serious topic that's also not serious at the same time, but also is. It's like, how do I explain it? I don't support consumerism at all, but I'm also autistic, and my current hyperfixation is Beyblades. So while I'm recording this video, I'm gonna be eating shrimp or alfredo because I feel like talking, and what better way to do it while eating comfort food. So yeah, I'm also doing this without a script, so this is probably gonna sound like really all over the place. I'm gonna just keep it simple and very broad at the very beginning before I go more in detail. Scalpers are a huge issue in trading, or like, you know, what's the word? When it comes to items that can be traded or, you know, bought from like retail places or whatever, like reselled or whatever. There's been an issue recently with people like buying them in bulk and then reselling them for extremely higher prices. And that's just like the broad definition of a scalper, is someone who resells things for extremely higher price. My dad does it, for example, for shoes. But those are also like, he doesn't buy them in bulk. He buys like maybe 1 or 2 pairs of those shoes and then, you know, sells them when they're no longer available. Depending on if he likes the shoes or not. If he likes the shoes, he'll keep them and use them. Otherwise, he'll sell them for a higher price when they're more in demand. But then again, it's not like he's buying them in bulk. That's what like differentiates from a scalper and, you know, somebody just doing normal reselling. This shrimp alfredo is so good. Granted, it's like freezer bought, but it's so good. Now, specifically in like, you know, Pokemon and Beyblade, because this is the only 2 places I've actually heard of this issue so far. The stuff already is like high demand. Specifically like for Beyblade, I'll say this. There's a lot of meta bays out there, which are like, you know, really good bays, like really good stock combos. So people are gonna try and buy those because they have good pieces and stuff like that. Ooh, excuse me, shrimp alfredo. But yeah, bladers tend to find really good bays and stick with those bays, because especially in like, when it comes to competitive combos, people will use those combos for tournaments and stuff, not just for whatever, just for fun play like I do. That sounded really bad. Oh my God. I didn't mean it like that, guys. But no, I think the issue with Beyblade is that it's not mass produced that much. It's like, yeah, it's mass produced, but it's not produced on a level like, you know, there's billions out there that you can just get like that. Usually the second they get like dropped in like, you know, places that sell them, Walmart, Target, whatever, they're usually like picked up that day and then gone. And like, you won't see them for a while. And I feel like that's an issue, is that like, it's not mass produced enough. Sure, it's produced, but not enough. And it's like, there's high demands of it because they're not molding new bays as fast as we'd like. Understandably so, because I made my own custom bay and it took me so long to even figure out the basics. Shrimp alfredo. My sister low-key interrupted me and I forgot what I was talking about. Oh yeah, that's what I was talking about. It's not mass produced enough. Meta bays, that is. And I would prefer for them not to be mass produced, because I support creativity in any way possible. That being said, I feel like people will benefit more if they stop trying to get meta bays and actually focus on, instead of spending money on something so expensive, get like cheap bays that you can find down the street, use those, make really, really good combos with them, and then use those really, really good combos and, you know, dominate the meta. I haven't gone to a competitive tournament yet, but I do have like, I have 4 really, really good custom combos. And although I haven't brought them to like competitive tournaments yet, I've crunched the numbers, I've done the math, I've seen how you know, other people who also do the combos do. Ah! I've seen how well it does against actual competitive combo bays. And I will say, I think I cooked. But for real, it's like, there's a lot of meta counters out there that people are just like refusing to discover or try to make because they want to just use the meta because, like, you know, it's the meta. And my personal thing is, can we not? If you've seen, you know, the Beyblade X anime, you would know.
My video snippet
that-
didn't
and
save,
it's
so
the
you get
first
to hear
season,
editor
obviously,
Ash here.
technically.
Basically, as I was saying, if we recall Team Irduso from the Beyblade X anime, we see them mass producing Phoenix and creating this dystopian vibe so everyone suddenly gets this extremely strong bay. And what I'm saying is the same issue will probably happen if we keep buying them.
My storage low-key ran out for a second. The life of somebody who loves to take photos and never delete the ones they don't need. Am I right? Don't answer that. I know I'm right. Anyways. Make cheap combos. I'm tired of people using competitive combos. Or not competitive combos. Meta combos. I want to see some originality. I want to see some spice. I want you to actually get good and stop paying to win. I feel like everything nowadays is just pay to win, pay to win, pay to win. Money, money, money. Spend money. And win nothing. Be creative. Put some skill into it. The only reason you're not good is because you're not trying to be. That's my thing. Okay. Now that's specifically Beyblade. Now, when it comes to, Pokemon, I don't know exactly how Pokemon has gone about it recently because I don't hear much about it anymore, but there was a time where I would hear about it every single day and it would get on my nerves. My entire friend group is obsessed with it now because all they do is buy, you know, TCG, what's it like, the blind bag, whatever. I'm not a Pokemon fan, I'm a Beyblade fan. But, you know, they're one and the same. They're one and the same sort of genre of nerd. But basically, I kept hearing like, oh, scalpers are stealing all of the whatever from stores and reselling them. Not actually stealing, but you know what I mean, like buying in bulk. And I don't know how Pokemon solved that issue recently, because I know it's still an issue, but it's not as big of an issue anymore. And I don't hear a lot about it anymore, but my thing is scalpers are the scum of the earth, and I wish scalping was illegal. But again, scalping is such a broad, like, it's such a broad term, and it's so, like, gray area, or so vague, that it's hard to determine, like, you know, what about scalping can be considered illegal and what is just, like, you know, free spending money, or free, finance, whatever, selling, buying, you know, normal stuff, free resale. And that's what makes it so hard to, like, you know, get rid of scalpers, is because it's, like, quite legal and there's no way to make it illegal. It's just bad. But what we can do to stop scalpers, or not stop them, but like make them quite irrelevant, is 1, making your own creative combos in Beyblade. 2, you know, buying the combos that aren't good, but making good ones out of them. My sister just interrupted me again. Shrimp alfredo. Oh, I'm sorry, it's so good. Oh. Okay, but to actually focus on, you know, how to resolve the situation with scalpers, as we can do as consumers. Sorry. I lost my train of thought. Stop buying from scalpers. I know a lot of people out here are doing that. Stop, because it's making things worse. It's giving them like, you know, profit. They're profiting from doing this. Then the best way to, like, you know, have them not profit is actually buying from the places that sell them. Bay Warehouse, wherever you get Pokemon from. I don't know. I'm not part of the Pokemon fandom. But, you know, stop buying from scalpers is my point. Buy from like Walmart, Target, whatever. Use your own creative combos. Get good at using those creative combos. Stop using, I feel like it's so stupid to say this, but stop using the reliable like meta base. Because the more you use those, or the more you want to get those, the more it feels like, oh, I'm not going to be a good blader if I don't use them. I'm not going to be, you know, a good Pokemon, whatever, I forgot what it's called, collector, if I don't have these specific cards. What's the whole deal with Pokemon anyway? That's going to be the next portion of this video. What is the deal with Pokemon? What was I saying? All I know about Pokemon recently is that people have been, you know, going to people to like grade the Pokemon or whatever, like rate them, and then giving them like a worth. And I feel like the rarer, quote unquote, the Pokemon card is, I keep getting interrupted and it keeps making me have to backtrack. It's about to get on my nerves. When it comes to Pokemon, all I know so far is that people have been, you know, going to graders, getting them graded, and they're like, it's almost like a pawn shop, basically. Like, they're going to these brokers or whatever, and they're like, you know, grading them and putting a worth on them, specifically like the rare ones. And I keep losing my train of thought as I'm speaking, and it's about to get on my nerves. I'm about to throw this. Oh my God. They're going to these people, and basically the people are like, oh, this is worth this much because it's, you know, it's rare, it's in good condition, this, that, and the third. Altogether, you would have received this amount of money. And, you know, people are like, oh, wow, oh, that's great. So people are collecting all of these and, like, I guess hoping to become millionaires within like the next couple of years, months, even, with how people are like, you know, buying them in bulk and stuff. But at the same time, they're also spending a huge amount of money, which is why I don't really support the entire like idea of, you know, buying stuff. It sounds so stupid, but as a punk, this is like completely normal. What's not normal for me is me, you know, becoming a huge Beyblade fan and spending a bunch of money on that. Because it's still, you know, spending money. It's okay though. My point still stands. I don't like to spend money, and I like to focus on buying cheaper stuff if I have to spend money, or feel the need to spend money, that is. This has become a very weird video, and I'm just not realizing that, because the entire idea of this video was for me to sit here, talk about the scalpers, scum of the earth situation, and eat shrimp alfredo. I'm still eating the shrimp alfredo, but I'm starting to talk about literally everything. It's okay, this is gonna be my first actual video on YouTube anyway. I think I'm gonna have to wrap this video up because I'm getting a little off topic. Scalpers suck. Pokemon is weird. Make your own combos. Stop trying to go with the meta, go against it. Get good. Have a great night. Live your life to the fullest. And stay beautiful. I don't think that's how I'm gonna end my videos, actually. I think I'm gonna end it differently. We'll figure it out when I, like, you know, do it. Yeah. Bye, guys. That was weird too. I don't know how I'm gonna go about this, but we're gonna get somewhere with it. Maybe I'll do like a TikTok dance at the end of the video or something.